When you create a part, SOLIDWORKS will give you the center of mass of the part with respect to its default coordinate system. In this case, the origin of this part is located on its bottom face at the intersection of the front, top, and right planes. This part has complete symmetry, so we would expect that when we go to its mass properties, we'll see that it's symmetric around the X plane and the Z plane with only a numerical value other than 0 in the Y direction, and the X, Y, and Z directions are shown down here in the lower left-hand corner. So what I want to do is be able to determine the location of the center of mass with respect to some other location on the part that I can specify. Say, for instance, this corner here. Well, the way we need to do that is to specify a new coordinate system. So let's go ahead and do that. The way you do this is under Features, you go to Reference Geometry, you go to Coordinate System, and the first selection asks you for the vertex. So I'm going to select here. And you'll see that you get this red, green, blue triad that is in the exact same orientation of the one down here on the bottom. So as long as you're looking, as long as you've only wanted to translate your coordinate system from, in this case, the origin of the part to some other location without any transformation of directions, this would be fine, and you could just say OK. If you don't see the coordinate system, that would mean that you have the visibility turned off. So you want to come here and make sure that you have View Coordinate Systems turned on. And you should see your coordinate system over here. So I had already created one. That's why this one is called Coordinate System 2. If you want the first one you make will be called Coordinate System 1. I'll go here under my Evaluate tab, go to my Mass Properties, and you'll see that nothing has changed because this is still reporting coordinate values relative to the default. You want to report your coordinate values relative to, in this case, Coordinate System 2, and you see that you now have a changed set of values where the center of mass is being given with respect to this coordinate system. So let's put one more in, and this time we'll rotate the direction of the X and Z directions. So what we'll do here is we'll go back to Features, Reference Geometry, Coordinate System, and I'll select this point. But in this case, I want the X direction to be pointing inward, and I want the Y direction to be pointing along this axis. So you see it says X-axis here. So I'm going to zoom in. I'll select this as my X-axis, which is where it was, but I want to reflect it. So now the X-axis is pointing inward as opposed to outward. Now the Y-axis, which is now pointing up, I want to point along this line. And again, I want to point it in towards the part. So that gives me X, Y, and Z all being coordinated via the right-hand rule. I'll say OK. And now you can see that I have the coordinate system point is located as well as the orientation. So now if I go into my mass properties, I can now report my center of mass with respect to now it's coordinate system 2. The new one we've just put in is coordinate system 3. So my numbers have changed again. And back to my default coordinate system. So depending on what you've been asked during the exam or for any particular time you're doing this, if you're asked for the center of mass with respect to a specific location, make sure you move a coordinate system or build in a new coordinate system, and then make sure the coordinate system that you create is aligned with what is expected. Either it's being shown in this case on an exam sheet or some other information that you've been given.